I don't give shit.
Hey, welcome back to a very, very special episode of Hollywood Night Heat. Here, I called an emergency taping here. I contacted our favorite guest, Jeff Allen, to come in because we were both employees of Warner Brothers, and I still have some friends on the inside, and they gave me an exclusive YouTube link to the newest trailer for the Superman movie. So I think it'd be great if both you and I watched and gave our 2 cents and see what we think, and then we can let the insiders at Warner Brothers know what we think, and then if we have any notes or anything like that, I'm sure they'll implement them before this thing comes out to the general public. I think it's coming out in July, right?
Yeah, I believe so. July 1 maybe.
So all right, so let's without further ado, we're going to watch the Superman.
All right. Looking forward to it.
Are you being serious?
Well, what are you thinking?
3 words come to mind.
Tell me.
I don't give shit. I realized that that's 4 words, so I changed it to this. I don't know, man.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. My feelings might have been altered for some reason.
Yeah,
I don't know why. I maybe because I think at least for me, I pictured it being in this idyllic world, this cartoonish, hopeful world, and it seems like, understandably, he's now in present day, Trumpistan. He's got to deal with the DOJ and stuff like that, and
it seems like I'm not disagreeing with you.
Right.
I had the same feeling, like that what we were going to see was a little more like All-Star Superman, Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely's, where it was, fantastical, colorful characters.
Yeah.
But it seems more like he's setting up the authority, and I think he's rushing into it, man. And I'll know July 13th when I go see it. I wish he would have just focused on Superman. And now you could probably argue that, well, by introducing all these new characters, he is focusing on Superman by contrasting him to them. And, but also introducing this world of superheroes that's much different from the Snyderverse, but it's very similar. It seems similar to the Snyderverse, them
right
cuffing Superman.
Right. It introduces some weird questions where, all right, if there's this weird entanglement with Superman representing a country or stopping wars, and this other group like the Green Lantern exists, and how long has he existed, and then why hasn't he done these things? You know what I mean? If they are good,
yeah, because they're probably following the law.
Yeah, and then is that going to be a whole
above the law, and
is that a whole Civil War kind of thing?
Yeah,
and that's not a story I give a shit about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think the best shot was the people holding their phones as he blasted off in the end there.
Yeah.
And that was great. That's the feeling I want. I want that exhilaration.
That's a bad outfit.
Yeah. Say, Jim.
Excuse me. That's a bad outfit.
Yeah, that whole thing, that whole montage is like the greatest. How many 3-5 minutes of superhero footage I think ever existed, when he goes and he
saves the cat from the tree.
7 Days Superman, when he saves all those people. I mean, that's the Superman I want to see. And this is more rooted in Pentagon and
and how does he not realize that Lois is a reporter?
Yeah, and then he's
she's asking him those questions. That's not what she feels. She's asking those questions because they need to be answered.
Of course.
And why is he getting all offended? Isn't he a reporter too?
Dude, and he's not even cool. He's losing, like, come on, you have to you have to compare that to the 78 when Christopher Reeve is sitting there, you know, and he's thoughtful and he's cute and he's elusive.
How old are you?
Over 21.
Oh, I get it. You don't want anyone to know how old. Okay. And how big are you? How tall are you?
Do you know what I mean? He's
Mhm.
not really answering. He's not giving up too much, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Although he did say, your underwear must be made out of lead.
pink. Yeah. No, yeah. It looks like she's interviewing Clark, right? I mean,
Yeah. So she knows.
so she knows. I
And,
don't know. I'm a little.
well, I mean, I mean, that was one thing that I thought I liked about Man of Steel was that they just blew past the whole Clark Kent reporter for the Daily Planet. And I was like, oh, thank God he's not going to join with glasses. And then at the very end, in a montage, not in a montage, but he just joins. Hey, this is their new reporter, Clark Kent. Hey, it's Superman with glasses on. What the fuck? Because they had Lois Lane figuring everything out in that movie. Finding the Kryptonian spaceship, buried in the Arctic or wherever. And I thought, oh, it's great. She's smart. She's going to realize, she's going to figure out right away that, because it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So I'm glad at least Lois knows that he's Clark and it's not a mystery, you know. But I'm also glad that they have him doing, like in that All-Star Superman, Frank Quitely did a lot of work on hiding Clark, like having him hunched over and messing up his hair and so that you could see like, okay, when he's Superman, yeah, it's obvious, but when he is Clark, he is like always like, oh yeah, mousy and stuff. And at least they're kind of doing that with his hair in this. I don't know if he's hunched over, but
It's kind of on the same vein. Do you ever read Megaton Man? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Megaton Man, yeah,
With Don
that was
Simpson.
great. Yeah.
Because he used to do the funniest stuff when he was hunched over at the Daily Planet, whatever. And he'd be like, "Gotta keep my cool." He was basically Megaton Man with his little goggles, but he was like trying to be a reporter, and it was the funniest because everyone knew, and he's gigantic, his shoulders. Then he's all hunched over. He just can't blow my cool. Oh, hey, Lois. Like it was. I don't know. I love that. So yeah, I don't know who that buzzsaw girl was that she was chopping up.
She was from the Authority. She's the engineer.
Okay.
In the comic, she's completely covered in like nanotech, silver, metal, liquid metal. I think it's, man, I don't know. I don't know how he's going to do it. They should not, because that's the Authority's thing. He's got a plan. I know he does.
What's the Authority?
Yeah, they're a team, and it's pretty freaking awesome stuff. I think Warren Ellis might have created them, and then Mark Millar took over with Frank Quitely, and some of the best work Frank Quitely's done. And so it's basically a team, and in the comic, the Authority, they go up against a dark version of the Avengers, and it's, Mark Millar, so it's like real brutal, stupid shit. But they basically have a Superman on there and a Batman, and it's Apollo and Midnighter, and they're both gay and a couple. So they got their Batman and Superman, love affair, for all the fans out there, the fanfics. And it's pretty great, but Mark Millar, he tends to go, where it's just like, and then I could tell James Gunn, is kind of a sick. You could tell, I don't know.
I don't know. I think he gets what was wrong was with the Snyder's version. I think. I mean, that's my take, is that he knows it should be more hopeful, but now he's persecuted like the Snyder, like they're marching him into whatever the headquarters with his head down, and people hate him. I mean, it's
throwing cans.
They're leaning into the whole like he's an alien and he's not even one of us. I mean, that's what I can't stand about that, because he is. I guess maybe that's how it's going to wrap up. Like, no, he is one of us. Maybe it's going to be a comment on immigration. Who knows? Maybe that's one way they're going to give it like a hopeful edge. But right now, to treat him as an other, it's just a continuation of the Snyder theme. And the Kents, those Kents are hard on the eyes. I have to say, the dad and the mom. But anyways, they might be wonderful people, but I'd like to see that whole thing, and where they instill the country boy, and the Americana in him. That's what I want to see in this one.
Yeah, and real quick to hop back to the authority, that's like they get bigger than government, and they say, you know what, we're going to be the world's protector. So any government of any country that gets out of line, you got to deal with us. And they get bigger than their britches, and the government pulls out their ultimate weapon that they're afraid of, and it's this crazy psycho named Seth, and he's got every superpower in the world, and he's a killer, and it's scary as hell, and he knocks them down a peg. And if he makes that movie, it's going to be amazing. But my point is that, Superman going over and stopping a war, that's what the authority would do. You know what I mean? So I think that's how he's gonna start setting up the authority, like, hey, we'll take it from here, Superman, you whatever. But they have one of their members, the engineer, working for Lex Luthor. So
okay,
the authority are basically good guys. And I think it's really difficult to make a Superman film in this day and age without focusing on his immigrant status, like the ultimate immigrant, American, truth and justice in the American way, and how that's distorted now, and there is no justice.
Yeah.
And
True. Well, okay, we'll see. I mean, I thought Crypto, he's fun, but he looked weightless. I think there was a shot where I think they're in the Fortress of Solitude. He jumps across and he hits a guy, and I didn't feel any weight behind it because it's CG. Hawk Girl, I'm kind of interested in seeing that. That's kind of cool. Mr. Fantastic,
Mr.
Terrific.
I'm looking forward to seeing him and possibly what Guy Gardner creates, what kind of constructs he creates.
Yeah. I don't know much about that Mr. Terrific, but his face is cool.
Yeah. He's the smartest character in the DC universe. So he would rival Reed Richards, and
Metamorpho looks great. I mean, I love NoHo Hank. So
everyone's laughing at the hand stabbing now.
Yeah.
Let's hope that turns out okay.
Let's hope he's just NoHo Hank as Metamorpho.
Because I always hated, I hated it in the Spider-Mans and the Batmans where they didn't focus on just one villain. Like Batman needed to have the Penguin and this and that, and that. Just focus on one, man. Like you can tell a good story. If it's a good story, it doesn't matter how many, but they're like, no, we need 3 villains. Just like Toby, they needed Sandman. They needed, it was just ridiculous.
Goblin.
Yeah. They could have just done.
And Venom.
Yeah, it was silly. I got to say, my final verdict, I'm just not as excited as I was seeing that teaser.
Yeah, me too. I'm underwhelmed. I couldn't, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you saw the Peacemaker trailer for season 2.
I did.
Where he's being interviewed possibly to
Guy Gardner and who was the other one?
Hawkwoman. And the new Maxwell Lord. The new Max Lord, who was played by Pedro Pascal in Wonder Woman 1984, but now he's played by an actor. His name, he was he did the body double for Rocket Raccoon, and he was also in Guardians of the Galaxy as Yondu's right-hand man. He's real skinny.
He was Sean Gunn?
Huh?
Yeah, Sean Gunn, right?
Oh, is that his name?
Well,
is that how he got the part?
It's James Gunn's brother, right? Is that who you're? Yeah.
Yes, I'm being silly.
Oh.
How did that guy get the part of Maxwell Lord? Interesting. I wonder how many actors he beat out for that role. It was a tough audition process, but then I saw my brother and I said, oh, yeah, my brother can play this part.
Yeah, I think he's good. I think he's got a good face. I think he I don't know.
We'll see how he is for Maxwell Lord. I always thought Sam Neill should be Maxwell Lord. Mm-hmm. Sam Neill, because I think that's what Kevin Maguire based when he was drawing him for Justice League back in the 80s. Final Conflict, Sam Neill.
The building tipping over, that was interesting. That was another one of my peeves about the Zack Snyder things is that he would just knock over buildings without any thought. Like, and it didn't mean anything. It had no impact when I was watching. I'm like, oh, there goes another building. Oh yeah, another building. And it was just,
I just need to focus on Zod and win this fight
yeah,
and not worry about the people.
yeah. It was so
Right?
dumb.
Remember?
And at least this one, it's falling all slow, and it looked like they're focusing on that. So that's interesting.
Giant monster, the giant gray monster.
Yeah. I don't know what
The
that's
gray
about.
guy in the suit with the Cyclops beam.
Do you know, I avoided all spoilers. This was the first time seeing it, obviously,
Mhm.
with you here. But I did see something on Twitter where it's a quick shot in the trailer where Superman, it looks like that giant dinosaur foot's about to stomp her, and then he comes flying in and grabs her and takes off.
Yeah.
And somebody said the physics of this is like she just got hit with a 6'3" bullet or something like that. Broke it, shattered every bone in her body or something like that.
Yeah, somebody added to that second, when he's rescuing the girl, they added the bone crunching when he's pulling her head
Oh
back
yeah.
to protect her head.
Why do people think Superman broke that little girl's neck?
All right, that's all I got.
All right, well, thanks for having me again back in my nice comfy chair. I like this one. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm gonna record this meeting and then I'll send it in email form to our contacts at Warner Brothers and then get them to work on our notes, and hopefully they can fix this thing up and it's not a total
Okay.
failure.
Cut the stuff out where I said James Gunn's a sit.
All right, that's it. Thanks for joining us, and we'll talk to you all later. Adios, Hollywood Night Eaters.